Now, introducing the next speaker. As the CEO of Mews, Matt Welle, you have sort of spearheaded a global expansion grounded in the strong belief that tech should be good for both the guests and the operators. Let's hear more about that. The scene is yours.
Hi, everyone. What a party today. Really nice to see so many hoteliers in the room and spend time away from my computer for a while. I wanted to talk about the changing role of the revenue manager. I think a lot is going to change in the coming years, but if any role is going to change dramatically, I think the revenue manager role will change the most. Can I just see who is an actual revenue manager in the room? It's a lot of you. I hope that doesn't drive fear, that's not the intent of it. I think it's actually one of the most exciting times right now for you. But there's so much happening in the world. You have AI coming right at us. And as a hotelier, I'm a non-technical person. Sure, we have lots of technical people in Mews, but I'm a hotelier. I literally went to hotel school, worked at Hilton, and then just joined this tech company. And this AI thing just scared the hell out of me. And I realized I had to learn it. And 2 weeks ago, I thought, unless I get ahead of this, no one else in the company will. Who in the room uses AI almost daily? So good. Who's built an agent, a bot, an app? 3, 4, 5 people. And I think that's the shift that will happen now. I also learned to build a bot 2 weeks ago, and I recorded myself. I've edited it because it took me 5 hours, and I've edited it to 1 hour, and I just dropped it on LinkedIn. But I was like, if I can't do this, how am I expecting the whole company to learn how to embrace AI? And as I was puzzling, all of the wires started to connect in my head. It's like, oh, this is how this works. It's so smart. I just talked to it, and then I use another app to build the app to let it work. And every time I break it, I ask it a question saying, what did I do wrong? And it teaches me. And I think hopefully in a year's time, most of your hands will go up, because we should move from a consumption-based, where we ask it questions, to a production-based AI. And that's when you as a hotelier will start to really rethink the way that you operate. So we've got AI coming at us. You have rising competition, like we're just standing next to the Maritime hotels, which is going to add several hundred rooms to the city, which I'm sure people are worried about, because that more competition is worrisome. You've got guest priorities changing. Suddenly, a lot of guests post-COVID are now combining leisure with business. How do you cater to a customer that is not only looking for business and leisure in one stay? And that's changing. You've got politics. Our government just fell. You got Trump, who God knows what he's done in the hours that I've been offline for the last 3 hours. And these tariffs have massive impact on travel. And that makes it really hard. I'm about to travel to London to see Beyonce on Saturday. She now takes residency, and we traveled to the artists, and like Adele did last year. And I think that's one of those big changes that's happened. So how do revenue management systems deal with that? All of that combined leads to opportunity. We could be freaked out about it. And I was with AI initially. I was really freaked out. I was like, fuck, this could kill my business. If I don't embrace what this thing is, it could kill us. But I always just jump into it. I just go and do it. And I think it's the same with this. We could freak out that suddenly our Excel sheets are taken away from us, or we could lean into it and we can say, actually, there's an opportunity here. There's something greater that we can do with these opportunities that are arising around us, because things are going to change. Whether we like it or not, it's going to change, and it's going to change faster than ever before. 22 years ago, when I joined Hilton, I remember my first day as a trainee, and I was given a project. I was given a project to create a sales culture at the Waldorf in London, the hotel that I started my traineeship at. And I thought, how the hell do I, a trainee, the lowest level employee in a hotel, create a sales culture? The end of the story is I definitely failed, but the manager at the time gave me a story about this gentleman that took over the plaza, not a hotelier, just a general gentleman who took over the plaza, out of business, and he had to transform it because it was so unsuccessful. And the first thing he did was he put name tags on, because he's like, staff members don't know each other. There's 1,400 employees in this hotel. They don't even greet each other, let alone our guests. So the first thing he tackled was guest experience, but the second thing he tackled was selling. No one was selling. No one knew which artist was playing in the bar, some lady or some man, they would say. and no one was selling. And he said, this is the thing that I have to fix in this hotel. And the most visible thing of what he did was he started selling strawberries for dessert in restaurants, because we all don't eat desserts anymore. We're all on Ozempic. I'm on Ozempic for a while, so I don't eat desserts for sure. And people don't eat desserts, but we love strawberries. So he said, strawberries, the most visible thing that we can sell to drive more revenue, meaning more tips because the average bill goes up. And he created this culture around selling strawberries across the hotel, and everyone became a salesperson, from the housekeeper to the doorman. Everyone was selling this hotel, because the Plaza previously, they just relied on people walking in the door. They were just order takers. But he realized, because the results were so bad, he needed to turn the culture around at this hotel. And he changed from a very reactive, like people walking in the door, to a proactive strategy. And this was 22 years ago at the Plaza. But I think we're in this one of those pivotal moments where things are about to shift. And I saw this image on LinkedIn the other day, and you probably can't read it. I've got a QR code so you can download this later. But the jobs are changing. So you've got this kind of box where you see jobs that will not exist in 5 years' time because of AI. And they're very like Excel sheets and like doing manual work to analyze things. Those jobs just won't exist, because this is genuinely where AI comes. But the jobs that will exist are the more creative, the fun jobs, actually. What do you do with the data? And really challenging the thinking. And those are the exciting jobs that I think will remain. So, content and translations and building websites, all of that won't exist. But the jobs there is like the leadership jobs. Like, what are you doing with it? How are you transforming your hotel? And this is where your jobs will change, in my opinion. I might be completely wrong. Maybe Excel sheets are coming back and manual analysis is coming back and it's the future. But I actually think there's an opportunity for the revenue manager to think holistically about every part of the hotel, selling strawberries again. And revenue managers have always been challenged on RevPAR. This metric where we talk about the rooms and we say how much revenue did we make. But we're a hotel. We do way more than rooms. So we should think, what are the most profitable services? How do we sell more of those instead of the less profitable services? Do more upsells. Kiosks. If you look at McDonald's, there isn't a McDonald's now where you walk in and you walk up to a desk. There's a kiosk, because the kiosk is way more effective at selling. They are not embarrassed to offer where you can buy 2 burgers instead of 1. And that's what they found. People actually order 2 burgers instead of burgers and fries, because people actually just want more burgers, but they're too embarrassed to ask the human. And now they're ordering it on the kiosk. And we see the same with the kiosks that we have with Mews. People are upselling and buying. And I stay in a hotel every week. I've never been upsold. No one's ever successfully upsold or even tried to upsell me, because it's really hard. And there's an embarrassment level that you have when human to human. And kiosks actually work really, really well. And who are your most valuable customers? The ones not that pay the most for the room, but the ones that spend the most in the hotel. And there's this shift that's taking place where RevPAR, I don't think it's the future. And we have to stop talking about it. But the only way we change that is by having new metrics. So you look at TrevPAR, total revenue per available room, which is okay, it's not a great metric. TrevPSM, so total revenue per square meter. You're a real estate company. You've got to think about every square meter and how do you optimize every square meter with revenue. And you've got TrevPAG, which is total revenue per guest, another powerful one. How are we optimizing how much guests are spending? The only way you're going to change this is if you start reporting on this every day. Your daily report needs to have that line, and initially, probably you have to do some manual work to get there. But unless everyone sees this number, you've got a target against it, and you actively talk and work towards it, you're not going to change the culture. And you can make, like, if you think last year inflation in Europe was, what, 2.4% or something, and we have to compensate for that 2.4%. So we have to drive the rate up minimum 2.4%. VAT is about to hit in this country as well on top of that, so you got to push that up as well. How do you do that when your product is aging? Like our rooms are getting older, and it's really hard to only make more money from just the bedrooms, and you have to diversify the strategy. So your revenue manager suddenly becomes a total revenue manager. They are now in charge of upsells at every part of the journey, and if something doesn't work, they need to have that conversation. They need to say, we're going to change the products in the upsell, or in the pre-arrival, or even during the stay, and how do we make sure that the lobby becomes a revenue-generating stay? Maybe you should have QR codes on the table so that people can start ordering straight from the lobby, even if you don't have waiters walking around, everything should become revenue generation. Your gym should have a QR code so you can order a protein shake whilst you're having a workout. Like little things where a person is fully in charge of revenue. So a revenue manager means total revenue management. And this is what we do at Mews. We try and connect all the dots. So once the data starts to connect, and we're building reporting around these metrics, like total revenue per guest, total revenue per guest, we've now added to the guest profiles because we actually know what the value is. So we can now tell you who the most valuable guest in your hotel is. And the AI tooltips tell you why they're the most valuable because we learn from their history and we consume it and we give it to you in a tweet size when you check in. And this is where we're moving towards, really thinking holistically about an ecosystem. And why is Mews doing payments? A lot of customers never understood why we were touching payments, but we knew that payments is a really critical friction point in hotels, like checking in. Nobody likes giving a credit card, but payments also connect the dots of what people do in the hotel. Even if they don't identify themselves with a name, we can connect the dots of payments. Same with point of sale. We can connect the dots. We know that you're lactose intolerant, so I'm not going to offer you a birthday cake with lactose in it, for example. And it's connecting the dots of service that connects you to the guest, and then you can do your selling. Then you can sell me strawberries instead of a chocolate cake at desserts, for example. But you have to have the data so that you can connect the dots of all of it. We bought Atomize last year, and also that is the next level, that dots that we're connecting, because we only do room revenue management. But actually, why is the parking not dynamic? If the hotel's busy on a Tuesday, but quiet on a Saturday, shouldn't your parking also be more expensive? Because these people are gonna come with a car whether you like it or not. So you should make money on parking, on co-working, on bicycle rentals if you're a busy hotel. And this is where we're moving towards with what we're doing with revenue management, thinking about every service, making everything dynamic based on what's happening in the hotel. The example I gave on the point of sale, if you go into the restaurant and you pay with Apple Pay, I usually in restaurants and hotels now pay with Apple Pay. It's just faster than having to write down my room number and my signature. It's just a really disjointed experience. But now suddenly you don't know who the guest was, but through our payments we know, because we can connect that credit card to the credit card on the guest profile, and we now merge them. So even if you're paying by card in the restaurant, suddenly we have total guest value on a singular profile. We can only achieve that because we are payments, we're the point of sale, and we're the PMS, all connected in one ecosystem. And it's really thinking through hospitality experiences that we're trying to drive more value. Because if I know that you're the most valuable guest, I'm going to think about how do I serve you better and serve you more products down the line. And we're just going deep on AI now. Like, it's so powerful what you can do. And I am still afraid of it, but I am diving into it. And I encourage you all to just watch my LinkedIn. It's 50 minutes of me struggle to figure this thing out like a hotelier. But I think we should all try and build something, because once those dots start connecting, I think that is really going to push all of us forward as a room, and we can have much better conversations next year when we come back together in this room. And ultimately, when we really embrace what we can do with technology and you connect the dots, not only are we doing more revenue, but ultimately you want to drive more profit. And profit is really ultimately what we do as a business. And hopefully you're with me on that. And hopefully we have a very different conversation in a year's time. If you want to download any of the slides, then you can scan the QR code. But you can always reach me on LinkedIn. I'm there every single day, posting videos, God knows whatever I'm spouting out there. But I just really enjoy engaging in this community. And thank you for having me. And I'm 14 seconds over.
You also figured that it would be me singing Edelweiss otherwise, right? Matt, thank you very much for introducing us to a new set of playing cards in the game of revenue management with total guest value. It will be very interesting to see what happens ahead. Those of you who are heading for the parallel session,